Welcome to episode 20 of the Sonic Symphonic podcast with me, Ben Sebastian. This episode, we dive down the rabbit hole of an album called Toonomicon by a band called The Angry Toons. They consider themselves an avant-garde metal and genre-defying cartoon metal at that, if I can get my words together in my excitement. So I'll talk more about the band as we progress, but we're going through their album back to back, all 11 tracks I believe it is, and we're starting with Endless Scream now. Well, if that is the opener, oh my days, we are definitely in for a show here today. Avant-Garde or complete chaos? I've not quite decided yet. So, some of those sections were just so full on. Everything a little bit sort of entangled in each other, but when the break happens and it goes into that more sort of rocky sound, you know, that's where you get the bounce. The bounce just is unleashed within. So let's talk a little bit more about the Angry Toons just for a second before we play this second track. Like I said, you know, or like they say, they are a genre-defying cartoon metal band. They're from Oakland, California, and consisting of current and former members of avant-garde metal veterans of Wonderland Syndrome. So there we go, another name drop there. Let's maybe have a look at that at some point if this is your vibe. I certainly will be interested in giving it a bit of a look. And seasoned talent from the Bay Area thrash scene, the Angry Toons present a unique blend of classic West Coast thrash. So we're talking thrash here now. Yeah, I see that now. It all suddenly fits together in my mind, with a tendency to explore every part of the music spectrum. No harm in that, of course. Incredible musicianship, explosive live performances, and a truly unique sound make the Angry Toons a band that promises to leave a lasting impression on the avant-garde metal scene. Do you know what? Maybe this is a genre I should explore more. So let's continue exploring with the second track of the album, called Still Alive. I like the tones, man. Okay.
The darkest urges cold, but they can't compete with my resolve.
I think this is going to be one of those bands that the more I listen to the album, the more I kind of synchronise with what they're kind of doing here. Because that was still very chaotic, but perhaps not as chaotic as the first track. Again, when they do those sort of breakaway parts, the bits after the sort of the chaotic sort of choruses, it just gets you moving. I can imagine that this band are absolutely awesome fun live. Another thing that kind of crosses my mind is, you remember when Motorhead were, yeah, okay, I'm not that old, but so Motorhead with a kind of specific fixation on the bass being sort of very higher and being at the forefront, which is not very typical of rock or metal bands. It's usually just sort of mixed in there, nicely balanced. But this whole bass being the forefront thing, there's sort of an echo of that that's resonating to me, and combined with the female vocals, I can't help but thinking of Girl School. Who I saw some point in the I think late 90s live, and again, because they were sort of the female comparative to Motorhead, it was a sort of similar sort of setup adopted with the bass playing, if my memory serves me correctly, of course. And another thing, that drum pattern with the high-pitched guitar in the verses there, then that almost sort of cross-genred into sort of like hip-hop, reminded me of some sort of early sort of Cypress Hill kind of stuff. Again, that's not really my bag. I'm not too educated enough to comment on hip hop, but it had echoes of that. Another band that kind of springs into my mind in terms of the way they sort of bounce into a sort of a rockier 4/4, more cohesive vibe than perhaps some of their more chaotic moments, is a band called Cathedral, who actually I think I'm going to look forward to catching up on any new releases, since I think something about Garden of Unearthly Delights. I think that's the last album I picked of theirs. It's certainly, this band is making me think, and the more I sort of zone out, and as is probably the case with Avant-Garde stuff, the more I sort of zone out or zoom out and remove my preconceptions of what rock or metal music should be sounding like, and just accept what it is, the more I'm actually enjoying all of this chaos and the sonosphere that they put together. I mean, is quite interesting. Just the blend of the tones. The couple of intros have been some very interesting sort of delightful sort of tones, and then of course they're very quickly washed away with the next bit of the song that they're bouncing into and catching you by surprise. And I think that dynamism is actually it is avant-garde, but it is certainly exciting, and I can imagine this being something really good sort of live. So what are you guys thinking so far? Leave some things in the comments if you kind of like this long form album walkthrough and the stuff that I deliver. If it's made you think as much as I do, 1, hit the like button. 2, subscribe. 3, hit the bell so you never miss an episode or one of my regular kind of reviews / reactions. And of course, don't forget there's going to be links below for the band. There's quite a lot they've got going on social media and what have you, so I'm going to populate that below, because that's the most important thing, is that the band that I'm waffling on about here on my day off it's important that you follow them. That's the whole mission of the podcast. And so we move on to track 3, Renegade Retribution. Jazzy. an 8-minute monster piece from the Angry Toons there. Do you know, this one reminded me more of certainly the beginning. Do you remember, like, Umma Gumma and Atom Heart Mother? I'm talking early Pink Floyd, sort of psychedelic sort of stuff. Careful with that Axe Eugene, you know, that sort of slow sort of psychedelic sort of build up. You know, even the timbres of the chinas in the drums and the sort of matching sort of bass. I wonder if that was a bit of an influence to any one of those musicians. But it certainly gave me some of those vibes. And again, the pacey there and the cool grooves. And it has to be said, the bass player is absolutely busy in in this band. Possibly the hardest working member. I think so. A little bit more about the band. What a show this is turning out to be. Very completely different to kind of what I expected, and in a good way. So after releasing 13 studio albums and touring all over North America, let me just sink that. I want to sink in 13 studio albums. Bass virtuoso Antos and longtime guitarist Captain Morgan started this new chapter in their journey of musical discovery, enlisting their local legend Igor on drums. The trio began writing initial songs that would become the beginnings of their next album. Always looking to explore the next stop in the endless realm of sound, the three enlisted the distinctive vocal talents of local artist and puppeteer Scampy. What a name, what a nickname. And the Angry Toons were born. Okay, well, endless realm of sound continues with something very cartoony, the Big Bad Wolf.
Hey!
that was another one that was, it kept you on your toes. Again, I love the energy when they sort of revert back into sort of 4/4 normalcy, I suppose. Quite the bounce that they create. And I keep coming back to the bass on this one, as someone that just basically picks up a bass guitar to fill in the blanks of my own composition. I wouldn't call myself a bassist in any way, but it's, if there's another thing I'll take away today on a personal basis, is I want to pick up my bass guitar and write some riffs, some inspiring sounds and styles coming out of that, and coming out of my listen today. So for that alone, I'm appreciative of running this episode. Next up on our journey through Toonomicon is the 5th track, Bat Out of Hell. So Floydy, so Pink Floydy.
Stay It is as natural to die as it is to be born. Die to be born to die.
All I wanted was a better life. All I wanted was a better life. All I wanted was a better life. All I wanted was a better life.
You know it was coming. Hawkwind, that's another band that they remind me of a little bit. Another band that was very bassy and psychedelic type of influenced. Okay, so you know, in in that track, sorry, I'm just laughing because I'm seeing the title of the next track, which I'll let you in on in a second. Okay, so the Bat Out of Hell, again, there's some really crazy guitar riffs that I was really getting into. There's one just before the end, if you've been watching this, and you've survived this much, then you'd have simply sort of like gone, oh yeah, but then as soon as it kind of appears, it's gone, and that's one of the frustrating things I'm starting to kind of pick up about this band, is that the riff work gets really awesome, but it's for short periods of time. And I suppose this is something that I've looked at in some of my own compositions. You know, I love stuff that chops and changes all the time, as this stuff does. But there comes a bit. You just want another. You just want another 16 bars of what went before, or just a little bit. Because it's sort of like this band has a tendency to dissolve from calm into chaos. And then into like absolutely like, you know, super catchy kind of I've lost the word for it, a super catchy sort of like section, and then dissolve into chaos, and then dissolve into sort of Chaos Mark II, and then descend into Chaos Mark III with an awesome riff, and then descend back into chaos again, and I wonder if that could just be a little bit frustrating. But that said, on a live basis, would be you'd be pumped. You'd be pumped at every change, because if that's the kind of, you're in a more social environment, you've got the whole vibe, you've got the feel of the noise. It could be one of these artists that doesn't get that many sort of home plays, because don't know if I would have this on the background whilst doing my laundry, for example. But it would certainly be if they were playing in my local bar, or within some sort of a reasonable travel distance. I would absolutely go and see them, because I'm sure it'd be a phenomenal vibe. As we we're just approaching now the halfway version, or halfway through the album, and I notice that pre-editing, I'm up to literally 50 minutes of recording. Obviously some of it's waffling and some of it's moving the camera about, but it's looking to be a long album. In fact, I wonder if Spotify shows the length of it. It's an hour and 4 minutes. It's long by today's standards, but not by historic bands. I mean, I mentioned, some of the sort of more avant-garde stuff I mentioned earlier. Their albums stretched beyond that. So I don't know. Let's see if I don't mean to be a dick, but fuck you resets my ear fatigue in any way. This is track 6.
Can't you free us from this place? Don't you notice?
And as if somehow the album was set up for that, the ear fatigue is gone. I think it was more of a song, if you know what I mean, a little bit more coherent in its construct, and the addition of the male vocals was actually very pleasant to hear a slightly different dynamic, and I think it made the song like super cool. So this definitely a single if you can get away from using the words "fuck you," of course, but it's That felt like the reset the middle of the album needed. And so we're going to move on. I don't mean to be sort of swift. This is a long album. I'd like to kind of keep the playthrough one honourable to the commitment to play the album in its entirety, but I'd also like to make it digestible for you guys at home. So we're going to go straight into track 7, Frankenstien number 2.
It's alive again.
Rising from the rubble, headed into town, and he's
Frankenstein number 2. That for me, I mean, it was a 5 minute, was it 5 minute 40, something like this? No, 4 minutes 50, 5 minute track. And it didn't feel like 5 minutes at all. So yeah, maybe I'm warming to the band. Maybe it was just something about that particular track. Maybe that's my favourite one so far. I quite enjoyed that. So track 8, we have 7, 14, 18, 19 minutes of music left to run. Let's see what more there is to say about the band. So they've worked with legendary artists K3N Adams, known for his work with Lamb of God, Slayer, Black Dahlia Murder, and countless other bands. The Angry Toons have crafted a one-of-a-kind experience. You certainly can say that again. This has definitely been not been the episode or afternoon that I anticipated, but in a good way. It's good to sort of challenge your ears and kind of widen your range of scope of music. This isn't the sort of thing that I would have sought out, and it's made for an enjoyable episode. So I can't thank you guys enough. From the unique aesthetic of the band, they say, to the unorthodox stories that each track tells, to the circus sideshow energy of their live shows, the band is truly a force to be reckoned with. So yeah, I think by now we recognise that the Angry Toons are definitely their own thing. So let's carry on, and we're on to track 8, Toon Raider. Toon Raider. So that was slightly darker, a slightly slower pace, and I think that kind of exuded a different level of strength. I kind of liked that one as well. Maybe a second favourite. But again, with enough chaos thrown in there, the angry tunes, maybe the. I know they're drawing. If you look at the artwork, they're drawing from various sort of cartoon stuff. I'm sure you'll see plenty of characters that you recognise they're recreated in the artwork. Something quite loony about the band as well. So maybe Looney Tunes as well. But that was interesting. I quite enjoyed that one. So again, conscious of time just a little bit, we're going to listen to Farrier of the Swamp, which is the ninth track, and then we're going to sort of delve into some of the band's socials and bits and pieces, and then move on to a video, and then we're sort of done here. So look, if you're still here with us, I can't thank you enough for joining me on this sonic journey that it has been, Toonomicon. It's been fascinating stuff. Farrier of the Swamp, people. Here we go. Okay, so that was my favourite track of the album by far. Finally kind of got the energy that I had back at the beginning. And yeah, okay, excellent. So we've come full circle, and I'm now much happier with the with the experience, you know. A little bit of fatigue in the middle, and then we're off back to there. What that was lovely. That bass work along a more mellow drum groove. That was just phenomenal sort of riff work there from the bass player, and it's the bass that really drives this whole band along. The complementary nature of that strong bass tone with those crazy sort of like guitar chords and slides and riffs and solos really set each other off well musically, all very present in Farrier of the Swamp. Absolutely, I love that one. Out of all of the listens we've had today. Shit Show is the one track of the album that I believe the Angry Toons have put a official music video out for. Owing to a slightly technical error, I'm unable to do the usual on-screen video camera, me in the middle type of thing. So we're going to do an old-fashioned way. I'm just going to push play and you can watch me watching the video. And, you know, maybe if one of you does a reaction video to this, then I can watch you watching me watching them, and then they could do a reaction video to you, and it'll be them watching you watching me watching. You get the thing. Yeah. Shit Show.
Details, babe. Plain and simple, nothing flat.
we go. That was Chit Chat. I kind of like this format. I might do this. The screen quality is rather something, like the screen coming through my camera. Yeah, that might actually be an option in future. Maybe a slightly bigger screen. But yeah, okay, cool. So it's actually good to see the faces to the names when, well, for those that weren't wearing masks or kitty cat ears and vampire teeth, but gives you a bit of a vibe as to, there's a bit of a, gives you a bit of a insight into what you expect to see live, and very energetic, and some nice instruments there as well. That 6-string bass. I mean, I can really work my way around a 5-string. So yeah, kudos there. So okay, that kind of leaves us at the end of this episode, I'm afraid. So it's been like really cool, you know, just vibing here, doing an episode of the podcast, doing a full album walkthrough. And I've got to thank the Angry Toons for entrusting me with their art, and I hope I've done some semblance of justice to my brief, I suppose. I've certainly enjoyed the journey. It's a bit of a challenging listen. The avant-garde stuff is kind of, well, it's avant-garde, isn't it? You know, I suppose that's the very nature of it. It's to sort of ensure that you absorb some new content, challenge some boundaries, and experience something completely new or off the wall. I don't think it was too self-indulgent as some of this avant-garde stuff can be. And it was, you know, fairly melodic and pacey when it required, as well as sort of complex and intricate, as well as raw and punky, and thrashy as well. So it's a sort of a bit of everything, and you know, there's certainly a band I would see live if I was so in the opportunity to be able to do so. They're an American band. I'm in the UK. It's unlikely. You know, unless, you know, they become world famous and they start touring here. But yeah, if I was a local native, I'd be down to see them. They look like they're having an amazing bunch of fun with this stuff, and that's what it's all about, really, isn't it? You know, if you're creating music, can't always be serious and on point. Sometimes it has to be a bit raw and a bit fun as well. And there's certainly lots of fun brought to the table today. So if you liked the band, if you liked the episode, hit all the sort of subscribe buttons and the links and follow through and get in touch with the band. I did say I would have a look at this social media, so I'm just going to jump to the predominant link over here. They have a domain name, theangrytoons.com, a bit of a press kit, some photos, links to videos, booking inquiry, easy email. They have an Instagram, which is the Angry Toons. Quite good. I imagine maybe the Angry Toons wouldn't be an easy handle to get, but they've got it, and they've got exactly the same handle on Facebook, and they're on Twitter as well. That's something I'm just learning to explore is Twitter, certainly not on the music side of things. And again, the Angry Toons are there. Okay, so all very perfectly synchronized. Whatever it is, the Angry Toons, you'll find them TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can stream it on pretty much all major platforms. They have a couple of reviews there by Melody Mine and the Bandcamp Diaries. Okay, that's interesting. Let's have a click on some of that and see if we've got time for it to load. Okay, its sound, yeah, the Angry Toons is a band that has a distinctive focus on avant-garde metal. Its sound is energetic and kaleidoscopic, throwing many curveballs at the audience and adopting a left-field approach that is creatively rewarding. There we go. That's using much more verbosity than I was able to conjure up in this video. It's some very comprehensive reviews and very favourable too. So yeah, I wish the band the best of successes, and yeah, click some links and get liking and subscribing and following, and hopefully I will see you here very, very soon. For now, we're just gonna end with the final track of the album, which is Godzilla.
Sound, it was the spinning out and
episode 20 of the Sonic Symphonic podcast. I'm definitely picking up my bass tonight.